Hello, and thank you for joining us for today's webinar, The New Way to Serve Clients with Microsoft Teams. Before we get started, here are a few important messages. During the webinar, you are welcome to submit questions via the chat window on your screen. We will try to answer the questions at the end of today's webinar. If we don't answer your question, don't worry, a Harmony person will answer you via email. For all those who are wondering, we will make a recording of this webcast available to you within a couple of days. You will get a link via email to the recorded webinar. I'm excited to welcome our special guest today, Alexandra Banica, Head of Operations and Support for Applications at BearingPoint. Alexandra has over 18 years' experience in IT and project management, with extensive knowledge of business processes, quality assurance, and IT development methodologies, and a proven ability to lead projects, to meet constraints, and attain customer satisfaction. We will start the webinar with Yaakov Cohen, Harmony founder and CEO. As founder of Harmony, Yaakov is a driving force for humanizing technology. By emphasizing a devotion to core values to enable a productive work environment, Yaakov believes technology should work for people rather than the other way around. Before we get started, we'd like to ask you a question. We're talking today about the new way to serve clients with Microsoft Teams. And we were wondering, has the pandemic changed the way you work with clients? Please select one. Not at all, slightly, or very much so. We'll wait a second because you're still answering, and then I'll show the results. Yaakov, please, can you see the results?
Let's see. Yes. So we see that we have some dramatic shift in the way people are serving clients. We have 49% said that very much so. They are serving clients differently since the pandemic. And we have 47% which are saying that is that slightly changed. So the vast majority have seen change. And so that's why today we want to talk about the new way to serve clients using Microsoft Teams. And what really, if we look at the pandemic, so the pandemic has really changed the way we live. It has also really changed the way we work. We are working from home. But one of the most fundamental change we are seeing is that the pandemic has dramatically changed the way we work with clients and the way we do business. And a lot of these changes were on their way before, as the buyers were becoming more and more sophisticated, researching offerings on the web. And also, I forgot to mention, we have today together with us professionals from a multitude of industries. We have people from IT, a lot of IT service provider like Alexandra from BearingPoint. We have also a lot of people providing professional services in insurance, in accounting, finance, investment, construction, management services. And the common denominator for all of us is we are serving clients using our domain expertise and the expertise we have acquired. So we have seen this shift of more buyers becoming more and more sophisticated and requesting more and more value from their suppliers. But with the pandemic, as our ability to meet clients face to face, our ability to wine and dine clients have really disappeared, and our communication with clients moved to the web with remote collaboration tools like Zoom, Slack, and obviously Microsoft Teams. So we have seen a shift from a vendor customer relationship, which is relationship driven, which is being owned by the client manager, by the client rep. We have seen a shift toward a much more value driven relationship between a vendor and customer. And the buyers are more and more sophisticated, and they expect more and more value. And as a result, so what really started from a constraints of limitation of travel ended up becoming a way of doing business with this requirement from customer to deliver more value and to be on a meeting online, on an online meeting, and to want to get to the bottom of it. What's the value? What I'm getting for what price? So the relationship has really moved toward a value-driven relationship, toward much more collaboration from the professional team which is delivering the services, with a need as regulatory requirements also are becoming more and more complex, a need to have multiple experts, technical experts, business experts, but now we have compliance experts and legal experts, which are increasing the value to the customer. And as a result, also, we are moving from a opaque relationship where the client rep is the owner and doesn't really show what's going on between the client and himself. We are really moving to a much more transparent model where the entire team is working together. The entire team is able to see the response from the customer and how to improve the service that we are delivering to the client. So really a very fundamental shift. And we need to think, are we ready for this? Are we ready to, if we want to be competitive as we are moving toward a post-pandemic workplace, and we know that people will continue to work remotely, even if we're going to move to an hybrid model, it's going to stay less travel, less face-to-face relationship, a lot more efficient relationship, a lot more value-driven relationship. And in fact, another positive side effect of the pandemic is that IT has been extremely active during this pandemic. And all IT people have been very busy during the pandemic, rolling out Office 365, rolling out Microsoft Teams. And Satya Nadella, the CEO of Microsoft, was saying that he has seen 2 years of progress within 2 months, the first 2 months of the pandemic in terms of Office 365 rollout. And while this has been a difficult time, at the same time, now we have the tools out there available to us to really implement the new way to serve clients using Microsoft Teams. Because our teams of experts are now on Microsoft Teams. We have defined a lot of time too many teams and too many channels, but we're getting there. The experts are online, the experts are available, they are being notified, and they are engaged on Teams. So this opened a massive opportunity to implement this new way of serving clients. So you guys can be ahead of the curve, you can lead the way and drive the new way of serving clients with a focus on value delivery. And the way we do that, how do we do that, is really by leveraging the power of our team, which is on Microsoft Teams, and really to be able to serve our clients using Microsoft Teams. And a lot of time, our clients are still communicating with us via email. Teams is really efficient for internal collaboration. And although there are ability to have people join as guests, this is definitely not a symmetrical relationship. And we continue to have most of our outside communication with customer partners and suppliers via emails. So with Servicemate, you are able to take customer emails which are coming to us via, for example, a shared mailbox. So a shared mailbox where all email from customer or particular account are coming to us. And with Servicemate, we can now see this email in Microsoft Teams. So Maya, maybe you want one more question before we go to David to show us the real thing?
Yes. Okay, we wanted to ask you how much of your workday is spent in Teams. Please select between 0 to 20%, 21 to 40%, 41 to 60%, or more than 60%. Okay, David.
Okay, I just have to, the screen is a bit small here to see. So it says how much your time is spent in Teams. So more than 60%, we've got 17%, and 41 to 60 is about 22%. So about, I would say about 40% of people are at least 40% of their time in Teams, which is, it's actually a staggering number, considering that just before the pandemic in July of 2019, Microsoft had 13 million users of Teams. Today, recently in July, they announced that there's 250 million users of Teams, and the adoption of this product has been stratospheric. If you look at these numbers and see how much time we are all spending in Teams, it's really off the charts. And of course, a lot of this started with virtual meetings and conferences to help supplement or augment or replace actually the ability of people to meet in person because of the pandemic, and it's spreading to other things like chat. And we're all looking for ways to get more value out of Teams as it becomes a more central pillar of our workday. And that's exactly what we like to talk about today with Servicemate, and explain how the value of Servicemate can increase the value that you're getting out of Teams and out of Office 365 in general. So what I'd like to do is to show a demo of the product, but rather than just demo the capabilities of the product from a technical standpoint, what I'd like to do is show how Servicemate is going to change the way that you serve your clients using Microsoft Teams. So it's a new way, as Yaakov said. It empowers client-facing teams to leverage the power of Teams using Microsoft Teams. And in contrast to the old way of where you just get an email sent to somebody, probably through a shared mailbox, and the person would answer the client's question and would have to walk around the office to get the answers to the client's question, what Servicemate does is it's introducing a way to do this through Teams. So the business case is quite straightforward. Let's take a look at it. It's one you're all familiar with. Honor and Ravenwood are merging, and when you have a merger, you have lots of questions that need to be answered. Of course, not everybody has the answers. Sam, our business analyst at Ravenwood, is one of these people. He's been tasked with managing the merger, and he's got lots of questions. He's got questions about taxes. He's got questions about compliance. He's got legal questions. And he's also representing other people at Ravenwood who have questions. And in order to get those answers, he turns to his trusted advisors at Advise Consultants. These are people who are professional. It's a professional services organization that has people who can help and provide answers to Sam and to Ravenwood. Now, just conveniently, I happen to be the client manager for Ravenwood. So you're going to see me getting the information through Teams. But I don't work alone. I work together with a team of experts. I have my expert Maya, who works as our legal expert, Itai, who's our tax expert, and Hila's our compliance expert. And as a team, we take the questions we get from customers, in this case Ravenwood, and we collaborate internally. Everybody has something to input. Everybody has their expertise, but it really requires a team to get the job done properly. And of course, when everybody's able to contribute, it's very important that everyone else can see what's going on, so there's a transparent process and make it easy and productive for everyone. So that's I get questions from Ravenwood, and we collaborate internally before providing those answers. So let's just see what that business process looks like. Sam Cooper at Ravenwood, who you see at the top of the picture, he generates his questions and he sends them as in an email, an attachment to me, the client manager at the consulting firm. This goes to a shared mailbox. In this case, we've set it up so it's Ravenwood at Advised Consultants, which is very much what I'm sure most of you are doing today in terms of getting client requests, inquiries, and service questions. And so I get that email, and what I'm going to do is, instead of the old way, what I would do is I'd take that email and I'd walk around the office collecting answers from my team. I would ask them to send me emails. I would take those emails, I would cut and paste, and then I would respond to that email by sending Sam an answer. Of course, nobody on my team would be part of that. They wouldn't see it. The whole internal collaboration process would be opaque. Only I would know who was giving me the answers. And that's not how we're going to do it with Servicemate. With Servicemate, what I do is I take that email and I post it onto a Teams channel, conversation, and I initiate an internal discussion so that we can address Sam's questions. The team sees the email, we can collaborate back and forth. Eventually we reach consensus, we get an answer, and then I or a different team member can generate an answer and send that back to Sam, answering his questions. And of course, this is a process that repeats itself, particularly in something like a merger. This goes on and on as new questions arise, new challenges arise, and new requests for consulting advice come in. So I'm going to switch over. Whoops. I'm going to switch over to the, this from PowerPoint, switch over to the demo, and what you see in front of you is should be very familiar to you folks. If 40, at least about half of you are spending at least 40% of your time in Teams, according to the poll results. So this should be familiar to you folks. This is a Teams screen in a conversation. And let me just give some context to understand what it is that we're seeing here. So as an organization that deals with clients, what we've done is we've set up a team called accounts, and here's where we handle all our key accounts. And each channel is a different customer. So in this case, Ravenwood is the channel that I'm looking at in front of me, and this is the conversation panel that we're looking at. So I'm particularly active here, being the client manager for that, and my team is also on this channel. And what you see in front of you is you see an email. So it says here Ravenwood merger. Sorry, we go up here. Ravenwood merger that came in from Sam Cooper. And this is the email that was sent. Thanks to Servicemate, this email no longer sits in the shared mailbox, but it now resides directly in the team channel where we're discussing internally the questions that come in from the customer. So I'll show you how this email appears, but Servicemate makes it transparent and very easy for this email to just appear from the user's perspective automatically in the channel so the conversation can begin. So here you see the email. And what I did when this email came in is I'll click on this, and you'll see the first thing I did was I said, team, we got this inquiry from Sam at Ravenwood. They're considering a merger. They have a number of questions, and I pointed out this is standard stuff that you have on Teams. This is a standard functionality I'm sure you're all familiar with. So I said to Itai, please address the questions related to tax. I asked Maya to address the questions related to the legal aspects of the deal, and an internal conversation ensued. You see here, Itai responded about saying the merger is complex, but he did give us some answers about what they need to do. Maya, looking at the legal aspects, suggested which legal entity should be the one for the merger in Ravenwood. And I rounded up the conversation by just saying we have enough information. And with all this information in hand, what I can do is I can now go back to Sam and answer that question. Now, what would I normally do? I'd have to go to Outlook, start typing an email or cutting and pasting. Not here. I simply click on the Open Taskboard button. And what I'll get is a view of that entire conversation in a window. And what I can simply do at the bottom is click on reply to this email. And if I have this question for Sam, I can collect those answers that I got from the different folks on the team. So from Maya, from Itai, the legal aspects, the tax aspects, maybe some of the compliance questions that were coming in. and I can reply directly to Sam from Teams without having to go to a different interface, without having to go to Outlook. So I've already formulated my answer. This merger looks like a great opportunity, and I send it over to Sam. Now Sam gets an answer. He gets that answer, and eventually, he's going to look at that and probably generate some more questions. So just to kind of show you what happened, there's other. You see here that the answer that I sent is also visible to people on the team. So you see the entire email flow, as well as you can see the email flow, which is with the external customer through Outlook, and the email thread, as well as the internal collaboration around the customer's questions in Teams. But it's one conversation. Instead of having two disconnected conversations, we have one transparent conversation that takes place in Teams, in the place where people are spending more of their work time.
So David, everybody in the team can see the entire email thread and the entire internal discussion on Teams. So even people which didn't respond, they can see the mail.
Everybody on the team it's visible. It's just a normal part of the overall conversation that you would see if anybody who had access to the team would contribute, and other members would be able to see and participate.
Thank you.
Okay, so the question is, this is fantastic. I mean, what we've done here is we've taken a client management challenge that all of us have, and turned it into a very simple app. Now, the advantage here is severalfold. First of all, this happens in Teams with Outlook. There's no new products to install, to learn, to a new workflow that you need to train people on. It's all done with Teams, and leverages the value of Teams to actually get more utility out of it. Now, the question is, some of you may ask me, how did that email get to the channel, and how do I set this up? So let me just show you briefly what this looks like. I'm going to click on the tab at the top, which says Ravenwood at. This is the Servicemate. I've renamed it Ravenwood at because to reflect the fact that we're working with our customer. And this is the app. It's a plugin to Microsoft Teams. When it will be released, it's going to be available in the Microsoft App Store. And it appears within the tab, as you see. And in this case, as I said, I've renamed it. Now, what we've done on the left side of the screen here, you'll see it in this blue section. This is a reflection of the shared mailbox in Outlook. So when you first set this up, you set the email shared mailbox that you want to see on the left side, and you see there's an awful lot of emails. Many of these are not interesting to the rest of the team, or not have to be addressed by the rest of the team to answer customers. This is primarily the reason that instead of just dumping all the emails into the conversation, which would be a tremendous case of overload, we make it easy for somebody who is a member of the team, or several members of the team, a screener, if you will, who can decide which tasks or which emails need to be handled by the rest of the team. And in this way, the team members can focus on the important stuff instead of being overwhelmed. So let's take a look and see. I'm going to look for emails that come from Sam. So I'm going to see here. Whoops. So I see some other emails that have come in from Sam from in other cases, and here's one that come in that says it's an urgent legal matter. Can you help? Wow, this one looks like it's really important, so I probably better get the team working on this one quickly. And the way I do that is very simply. I just drag this from one column from the email world. I drag it over into the Teams world. You can see by the colors, the blue being the Outlook, the purple being representing the Teams. And what I get is I get a pop-up that says, do I want to notify the team that this email has come in? And yes, I do, because I want everyone to start working on it. And what I do is it appears here now as what we call a task, but this is really a column that says these are shared requests that have come in that need to be handled by the team. And what I do is I can click on the button to show the conversation and move back to the conversation, the same one we were just looking at before. So we had the Ravenwood merger before, and now a new email has come in, and it just appears sequentially in the email conversation. Now, what you notice here is that we don't have yet an owner of this particular task. Now, one of the things you always say when it comes to handling tasks or customer requests is that if everybody is responsible for something, that means nobody's responsible for it. And we all know from customer requests that emails come in when you're doing it just through a shared mailbox, often falls between the cracks. Either two people answer, nobody answers, people don't see the other answers. We make it very simple. A person on the team, in this case, I will click on this, but anyone who sees this email can also take ownership of this request. So I see that this is about a legal inquiry, and I just happen to know what this is about. So I say, I'm going to take this. And what you'll see is that now I become, this task is, I become responsible for it, which helps, of course, later with tracking and follow-ups. And now I'm the one who can go out and get the input from other people in the team. Of course, there's a way to assign this to other people. For the purposes of this demo, I'm just going to keep it simple. But of course, you can have other people, like a team manager, for example, assign somebody to do this as well. So then you would continue on just as we had before. You can start to reply. And again, I could say, Itai, we need your help. And then he would get on that. So going back to the board, we can look at kind of get an aggregate view of what we have in the board here. So you can see that we have different columns. These are shared columns. I can drag them into an owned column. And then, of course, this one that we finished before, which was one that we answered the email. We haven't gotten, and we got a response from Sam that it's finished. I can move that into the completed column. And now what I have is I have the ability to see all the tasks or client requests that are coming in, what the status is, be able to drill down on them, see all the responses. Everything is transparent, accountable, and responsible here within Teams. And of course, I can search or find other people. It's very simple to navigate this. And the overall idea is, again, is to be able to make sure that we provide the stellar client service that we can using Teams, bringing conversations, email threads together with team internal collaboration to provide that service and to move client service into the next generation of support leveraging the power of Teams using Microsoft Teams. And with that, I will turn this over to Alexandra to share with us the BearingPoint experience with Teams, with the new workplace, and also their interest in Servicemate. So Alexandra, please.
Hello, everyone, and thank you for the invitation. So BearingPoint delivers management and technology consulting. We drive change in our clients' businesses by creating customized solutions on a personal basis. Your Ways is the name of our initiative from top level to redesign our future way of working. Our strategy 2025 is centered around people. Our people, the people of our clients and society, with a purpose to help people thrive in a fast-changing world and to develop them into leaders. The objective is simple yet ambitious. Simplify our daily life at BearingPoint, empower employees, and transform BearingPoint's way of consulting to make the difference for our people, clients, and ecosystem. In the next slide, I would like to present one of our use cases. In our company, prior to purchasing or building any software application, services, or tools, user must check existing Your Way submissions to see if the tool software is already in discussion. If this is not the case, user must fill out a form about the background, objective, constraints, risks, etc., and send the form to a shared mailbox. The emails are automatically forwarded to a channel in Teams, and then they are discussed in the IT portfolio board. The board includes multiple teams: architecture, IT security, compliance, legal, workers' council representative, and they meet once per week to discuss the new and ongoing topics. Depending on the request, some or all teams must be involved in the decisions. So each request is transformed into a task in Planner and assign people from the IT portfolio board. Usually there is a main responsible for each task, and the rest just needs to bring their input, concerns. So in the end, a go or no-go decision is taken. This process is difficult to manage in Planner, and sometimes it causes delay. The main responsible for the tasks keeps the discussion open with the internal clients via email and coordinates with the involved people. We have identified that Servicemate can help to manage the process way easier by allowing a single responsible for the task, allocate subtasks, and keep the email exchange on a topic altogether. It also allows to group topics by view, for example, to see only the task allocated to the current user, and to search inside the board. The app could also help in the future for similar references to completed tasks. In our company, Teams is heavily used both for internal team collaboration and projects, and also for external projects with external guests. We were early adopters of Teams, and it was implemented over 4 years ago as one of this of Your Ways initiative. This actually helped us a lot with a transition from office to home working. Since all our people are using Teams, now the downside is that we have a lot of teams and becomes more and more challenging to keep track of all the teams and all the notifications. Servicemate can help with this change also, since we will be able to assign subtasks without adding users to a team. Why we joined the design partner program? Luckily, with Harmony, we share the same vision of the new workplace. IT's responsibility is to buy the correct tools that supports our businesses and also to be able to manage them. IT dilemma: create solution or buy. Maintenance can be a bigger time consumer than development itself, especially that Office 365 updates every 2-3 weeks, and each update might have an impact on the custom development. So in this case, I think the buy is the correct decision, and Servicemate is a win-win situation. Less custom development for us and minimal maintenance. Other advantages of design partnership is influence the product that we are buying and influence the roadmap, the new coming features. I hope this was helpful. And
thank you, thank you, Alexandra. Very, very helpful. Very informative. With that, I'll turn it back over to Jaco.
Sure. Thank you. Thank you very much, David, for the amazing demo. And thank you, Alexandra, for telling us about your portfolio board use case and how you envision being part of the design partner program and using Servicemate to deliver more value to your customers. So So we are launching today a design partner program for Servicemate. This is really for organizations which are committed to the new way of serving clients and using Microsoft Teams and the power of their team to work in a collaborative and transparent way. So really, this is what it is about. And as Alexandra said, the benefits of the Design Partner Program is early access to Servicemate. We are launching this week our Design Partner release of Servicemate, the one that David just demonstrated. And what we're doing, we are gathering input, feedback from the design partners with meetings every 3 weeks to understand how they are using it, what's the use case, and it's a two-way street. You know, in this new way of serving clients, this is not anymore just a vendor which is delivering value to the client. There is a mutual exchange of value, and with BearingPoint, which is an Harmony client for many years, we believe in this exchange of value model, and we are working together to make Servicemate a better product to be able to deliver more value to our customers. The other thing, obviously, is that we will listen and together decide about changes in our product roadmap. And you're getting also a 1-year free subscription for your organization as a recognition of your contribution. You have 1 year free of subscription. On your side, you need to be motivated to provide feedback and to let us know about your use cases, and so we can continue to educate the market together and share best practices as we're doing today with the Harmony customers. Next. And from a technical standpoint, keep in mind that you need to be using Exchange Online, and we're going to take one of your shared mailbox, one of that you are using to communicate with clients, either internal clients, like in the BearingPoint use case, or with external clients, which are sending you requests via the shared mailbox, and you will be able to associate the shared mailbox to a specific Microsoft Teams, a specific channel. And in this channel, you will make sure that the contributors, which will answer the customer request coming from the shared mailbox, will be there. So you need also to have the ability to add a team app from the Microsoft Store, or you may need an admin to provide a consent. So make sure your Office 365 Global Admin. This is pretty cumbersome sometime to get that admin consent, as you may know. So if you can check that up before applying to the Design Partner Program, that you can get admin consent or user consent for installing the app. And so, you know, you can act right now. And we have, you know, we cannot handle too many design partners, and we have a few already which have joined. So please, if you feel you will get value and you can contribute, so we really are looking forward to this mutual exchange of value. You can use the QR code, or you can go straight to the HTTPS Harmony/Servicemate URL and apply to the Servicemate program. So thank you very much. We will take some questions.
Thank you, Yaakov. The first question was, what happens if someone emails directly from Outlook?
Yes, so that's really an interesting question. You can continue to reply from Outlook, and as long as you copy the shared mailbox, then this reply will be attached to the initial request which came from the client. So Servicemate automatically attached all the email threads and all the subsequent replies to a particular email. As long as they are being sent to the shared mailbox, they will be attached to the task.
Thank you.
So you can do it both ways.
Another question, will it be released in GCC? Are other apps such as Power Automate needed?
So we're going to be GA in Q1 of 2022, and during basically from today, we are September 1st, we're going to be in this design partner mode for 4 months for the rest of the year, and we will aggregate all the feedback from all the design partners into the GA, which will be available in Q1. About ability to use Power BI, and we're looking at it. It's probably not going to be in the first release, but we're already planning to provide a lot of customization. For example, in terms of, we have a very simple workflow right now, as David showed, where you have email coming in, you screening the email which you want to share with the team. So you have a shared state, and then you have an on state when there is an owner, and a completed state. So we'll try to give you more options with customization using Power BI.
Yeah, I believe the question was whether there's a prerequisite to have Power Automate in order to run this app.
Thank you. No, there is no prerequisite. And what it is, GCC, I assume it was GA, but I don't know GCC in general customer, I guess it's GA.
Thank you, Yaakov. Another question, can I change the assignee of a task?
Absolutely, you can. For example, if somebody said, I will own it, right now we have a very transparent model. Anybody else can assign to somebody else. And the owner will get a notification that he has been taking ownership. So right now it's very simple. We're not putting too many control mechanism in terms of preventing people from assigning the task. We want to make it simple, transparent, and collaborative.
I just got a reply that GCC is Government Cloud Community.
Thank you. That's a great question. And the answer is probably yes, because we have a lot of our clients are government organization, and I guess this one is for the US. So we have the Canadian government as a big customer, and definitely we will look into putting it in the government cloud community. So please contact us and we can explore that more deeply.
Thanks, Yaakov. Do we see the entire email thread with the client?
Absolutely. Absolutely, and that's one of the key value is that you get, as David explained, you get in one view, in the expanded view of the task, you get all the email thread, and you get a chronological view of every email which has been sent or received, and the internal discussion in between. So you're getting an entire view of the email threads and the internal team's conversation.
Thanks, Yaakov. The last question we'll answer today is, how much will Servicemate cost?
So Servicemate, first, it's free for 1 year for the design partners. So that's one benefit. And we didn't finalize the pricing of Servicemate. We are still looking at different models. We will have a free version available until a certain number of tasks which are being completed. What I can say is that Email Teammate, which is a sibling, the older brother of Servicemate, will remain part of the Harmony 365 or the Harmony One subscription. So Email Teammate is part of the Harmony One subscription, but Servicemate is an additional offering which will be sold separately outside the Harmony One subscription.
Thank you, Alexandra, Yaakov, and David, for a great presentation. And thank you all for joining us today. You will receive an email with a link to view this webinar again within a couple of days. And we look forward to meeting you again at our next webinar. Thank you and bye-bye.
Thank you all. Thank you.